and go back over here to you and your gorgeous face. And it says, meeting is now streaming live on Facebook. Hey, everyone.
Happy Sunday. Oh, girl, yeah. There goes every attempt I had not to fangirl.
Wow.
Oh my God.
You just totally
okay. I never even filmed that dance before,
No.
Dr. Koski.
No, and I don't think that's the way that you're supposed to do it either.
Hot? Super hot. Super hot in here. Okay, I'm gonna gather my thoughts.
Hello, everyone.
You guys.
Welcome to our page.
We've got folks jumping on right now.
We've got a lot of folks jumping on, and we are so happy to be here today with the one and only Dr. Marci Koski with Feline Behavior Solutions.
Okay, so for most of you guys already know, because we're obsessed with Dr. Marci Koski, and you guys have heard the difference that she's made in our life. For those of you guys that don't know, Dr. Marci Koski is a hat behavioralist, a cat behavioralist, and her mission is really, in a nutshell, to keep cats out of shelters and in their homes, to really help with those treatable behavioral issues. And today's topic is litter boxes. Dr. Marci Koski, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes. I am so excited to be here. I've been waiting all week just to hop on this Zoom call and talk to you guys and answer questions. As I was telling Jay when we were setting this up, I can talk for hours about litter box issues. That shirt that you said, the cat shit crazy shirt, I think that was probably made just for me. That's what I'm thinking.
It was
actually made it for her.
Just for me. But I think you're the reason that I am cat shit crazy. You are really, litter boxes. I'm so obsessed with litter boxes. I'm so excited. Can we start off a little bit with you giving just a little bit of an intro for people that don't know who you are, how you started being such an incredible human and what brought you to us today?
All right, let's see. Well, I guess I came into this a little bit differently than a lot of other people. I think one thing we all have in common is our love for cats. And I really love all animals. I mean, I happen to work with cats, but I love all animals, but cats especially. I've had cats my entire life. And so but I've also had this scientific bent too. So I actually went to grad school. I got my PhD in fishery and wildlife biology, studying fish, so studying salmon. And then after that, I worked for the US Fish and Wildlife Service for 10 years. I was an endangered species biologist. So I worked with a lot of threatened and endangered species in the United States. And these were things from butterflies to different plants to fish to birds. I mean, just a lot of different things. But I think what a lot of people find is when you move up in an organization, and this is true for the government as well, you find yourself sitting in an office behind a desk. And I got to be in a supervisory position where I was doing timesheets and working on budgets. And a lot of endangered species issues are very political. And I found that the science that I once in a while was involved with at that point really got squashed by politics. So it was, science versus politics, and the politics tended to weigh out. So there were a lot of things about my position that I didn't like so much anymore. And so I was like, man, I got to do something else. I can't do this for the rest of my life. And I just started going back to what I originally loved, which is cats. And I was like, okay, what can I do? And I was like, let's study. So I got a couple of certifications from the Animal Behavior Institute, and combined with my ecological background, it's an interesting combination. But I started my business back in 2015. At the very beginning of 2015, Feline Behavior Solutions. And and I've been, there were a couple of years where I had to overlap my work, but now it's, I work with individual clients, I work with shelters and rescues, and really the mission is to keep cats in homes and out of shelters.
I love that. And you're so dang good at it, because I think so many of us, especially when it comes to litter box issues, feel like this situation is not sustainable, something has to be done, and it's usually going to be the cat that has to go, right?
Yeah, right. And don't the statistics say that like the number one reason the cats are brought back to the shelter is because of litter box issues, because the cat is going outside the box?
That is definitely one of the reasons. And I would venture to guess, this is not, I don't have any evidence for this, but I would venture that the number of cats surrendered to shelters is probably higher for house soiling issues, simply because when people bring a cat to the shelter, a lot of people are really hesitant to say, oh, this cat has been peeing outside of the box, because they don't want the cat to be put down or whatever. So, which is great, but you need to be honest about why you're returning a cat so that they can actually help the cat find an appropriate home. So I think that house soiling is actually one of those underrepresented reasons why cats are returned.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, real quick, I want to put some structure to this just because I know I'm going to go crazy. And so maybe this will help keep us all on track. So for everyone watching, I know everyone's got to be so excited. We are going to be able to open up, I think here towards the end, for a little Q&A with the one and only Dr. Marci Koski, which is going to be just so exciting. But let's do a little bit of a kind of a rapid fire round over some basic litter questions that I think that we all have, right?
Okay.
Number one is, what do you say when someone says to you, what's the best litter?
The litter that your cat will use.
Yes.
Is the best litter. There have been a lot of studies, and generally speaking, and there are cats that have exceptions, of course, as there always are. But generally speaking, cats prefer a fine-grained clumping litter. And this is because it resembles the environment that they evolved in. You know, they're kind of desert cats, and they used sandy soil to cover their business. So, and then also, there have been some studies, and they found that cats, when faced with either, scent or clumps, what did cats least prefer about the litter box? The presence of clumps. So a clumping litter will allow you to remove those clumps quickly and make sure that your litter box is clean. So clumping cat litter is what I recommend. I personally, in my home, my cats, not me, let's make that clear. My cats use a clumping clay litter. And they do great with that.
Cool.
Okay. Second question is the boxes. How many litter boxes do we need?
Okay.
Say we just have one cat. How many litter boxes?
Okay. So the standard recommendation is you have the number of boxes you have, as many as your cats, plus one. And I'm going to add to that in a second, but you need the plus one because some cats like to pee and poop in different locations. And
not me, my cats.
Okay.
My cats, not me.
And then sometimes cats don't necessarily like to share a litter box with another cat. So, and this kind of goes exponentially too. Like, if you have 10 cats, which is kind of pushing the limits of the number of cats you should probably have in your house, but you don't just need 11 boxes. You're probably going to need more than that. But it depends on your space. It depends on a lot of different things. The add-on to the number of cats plus one rule would be a multi-floor home. You want to have always at least one box on each floor of the home that your cat uses. So if you only have one cat, but you have a 3-floor home, you want 3 litter boxes.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
We're gonna have to add a box.
We're busted on that one. No, we have 6 cats and we have 8 boxes right now, right? Or no?
Right. We have 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 boxes. Yeah.
8 boxes. And that's right now that seems to work for our cats in our home, but they are in different locations, like 3 different locations, but they're all upstairs. They're not downstairs.
We don't have one downstairs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll
So-
have to make an
so-
ornate litter box cabinet
Yes, we
so
will
that it
do
will
that
be an acceptable addition to the downstairs
for
decor.
Jay. Correct. Yes, yes. Okay, next question. When it comes to litter box size,
Girl, preach.
is that important? What should it be and why?
I get so mad when I go into pet stores and I see the litter box selection that they have. First of all, they're like this big. They're
Yeah.
made basically for kittens, even the jumbo sized ones, and they're so freaking expensive.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Like so many things that are made for cats and pets in general. It's just like stuff that could potentially be causing problems and cats don't like. They're marketing for humans.
Right.
For example, like if I go into a store and I'm faced with a plethora of litter box options, which one am I going to want to clean? The one that's smallest, right? I don't want to clean a huge litter box. Well, which box does your cat want? The cat wants the spa version of the litter box, which is what you should get your cat because your cat deserves a spa litter box. So what I want you to do is just go to Target or Walmart and get one of those large under the bed storage boxes. Like you should be able to get a really big one for like 10 bucks. And they're great. They're sturdy. They are maybe 6 inches tall, which is great. And don't get the one with the wheels in it because that's kind of hard to clean out. And then, don't get the ones that are like kind of narrow and super long, but just like kind of a nice big square one. Generally speaking, the box should be as like long as 1.5 times the length of your cat, not including the tail, because that would be a really big litter box. But yeah, your cat should be able to turn around, dig, bury, swish its tail, do all those things without touching the side of the box. Just think about like all the reasons why you hate porta potties. And then apply that to a standard litter box that you might get in a pet store with a hood and a flap and tiny. Like the reason why your cat probably dislikes that litter box is the same reason you do when you go into a porta potty.
Yeah. So you taught us this a couple years ago, and we were like,
Thank you.
whoa, because we knew that like,
What were we like?
whoa.
Yeah.
Because we knew that like, right. And it's like, oh, it make it perfect. It almost seems like it should be common sense, but we didn't
Never
think about it.
occurred to
We
us.
went to like PetSmart or the pet store or whatever to find the biggest litter box that they had. And we bought it.
$48
We paid
for
like,
it.
yeah, like $48 for it. And it's like a corner unit. It's the biggest that they had. And it was still not the size that's appropriate for our biggest cat, which is why we were buying new litter boxes for him, because he was having so many litter issues at the time. We actually got the 30-gallon big storage bins because we have an elevator pier.
We have a few of them.
Right.
Yeah.
So we
Uh-huh.
we got the taller ones too, and cut out the door in it, and leave it open at the top. One of them do we put a lid on one of them because
Right. Well, that's a follow-up question because this is another big issue. So say we get a bigger litter box. Do cats prefer or not prefer
or is
covered
there an
or
answer?
uncovered, or is there an answer?
Or is it
Covered or
individually?
uncovered litter boxes?
Generally speaking, and again, totally general,
Okay.
the average cat prefers to have an uncovered litter box. And this is for 2 reasons. So the first reason is that a covered litter box holds in all that ammonia scent, which is unpleasant for everybody. But that's why you should be cleaning out your litter boxes at least once a day. The second reason is cats are both predators and prey animals. And when they've got their, squat on out in the wild, that is one of the most vulnerable positions that cats put themselves in because they're in a fixed position for a certain amount of time, putting out smelly stuff, and it just alerts other predators to their location, and they're pretty vulnerable. So they need to have a wide range of vision. Most cats are going to feel more comfortable when they can see their surroundings, and having a lid on a litter box prevents them from seeing everywhere around them, and it potentially creates ambush spots. And this is just something that's instinctual to cats. A cat may know that it's the only cat in your house, for example, but instinctually, they still might feel like, what was that? What was that? You know, like if they can't see what's going on around them while they're trying to do their business.
Right.
Ah, I love that. Okay, I just had a question and it just went away. Oh, no, that wasn't it.
Well, let's go to the placement of the litter boxes. Then we kind of touched on that as far as it should be on every floor of your home, but does it matter where you put the litter boxes? I know a lot of people have come to us and they say, you know, our litter boxes, because they stink or whatever, are in the basement, or our litter boxes are, you know, in a bathroom somewhere. Does it matter where the litter box is?
Yeah. Okay. So with cats, they generally prefer, I mean, they don't necessarily, they don't attach shame to using the litter box. This is why a cat will just take a squat right in front of you, you know, they're like, hey, I'm going to do it. So in their, they prefer to have a litter box in their socially significant area of the home because their scent is there. And having their scent, their personal scent in their territory helps them feel territorially secure. Scent is so important for cats. Of course, too much of a scent can be a bad thing, but you know, cats need to have their scent in their socially significant parts of their territory, which is why having litter boxes, all the litter boxes in a place in the home where a cat wouldn't otherwise go except to use the litter box is not an ideal place. So, you know, litter boxes in the basement are fine as long as, you know, you have like, is a family room down there? Do you guys spend time in the family room? Does the cat spend time down there? You know, if you're putting a litter box like right next to a room that you spend time in, that's probably okay. Because I know not everybody wants to have a litter box in their living room. I do, by the way. It's behind a chair, so you don't even see it's there. So location is really important. Box size, I'd say, is one of the most important things. I know that as soon as people change their litter boxes out, they start seeing a lot better usage, but litter box location is also super important because, you know, and we talked about the number of litter boxes you should have, and it's not always about the number of litter boxes. It's often about the litter box location. So if you go, oh, I have 3 cats and I have 4 litter boxes and they're all in one location, they're all right next to each other. The cats just look at that as one big litter box with inconvenient plastic dividers in the middle. So really you just have one litter box. So you really need to have multiple locations around the home that your cats can use.
So would you, I mean, if it's possible, I know it's not possible in everybody's situation, but if it were possible to have a different litter box, every different litter box in a different room of the house, you would recommend that?
I would, I mean, obviously it really depends on the situation and the home, but yeah, like look at the number of litter boxes you need, start with that. And then say, okay, where does the cat hang out? And where can I put these litter boxes where it's going to work for both the cat and me? And also, if you're trying to compromise with your cat has the winning power in that compromise situation.
Always.
Yeah.
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 I mean, you don't want to put the litter box near food, near water, near napping locations, favorite perches. You don't want the litter box right there. You know, because your cat does not want to smell that either when they're trying to do different things. But, you know, having it not far away. And this is really true, especially for older kitties who may not be so mobile or special needs kitties. So take that into consideration as well.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Okay. So then of all the things that we've talked about right now, about litter boxes, what would you say, or maybe something else, what would you say is like the number one reason from your personal experience that cats go outside the box?
Well, okay. So ruling out medical issues is the most important thing. I mean, if your cat has started to go outside of the litter box, you want to rule out medical issues. And I should say that with pooping outside of the litter box, especially if your cat is pooping outside of the litter box but peeing inside the litter box, there is usually always a medical component to that situation. Even if it's just a little bit of diarrhea or a little bit of constipation, because that can cause a lack of control. I mean, your cat is not going to just sit on the litter box waiting around, reading paper, waiting for it to happen. Your cat's not going to do that. Your cat's going to be like, oh, crap, you know, and it's going to kind of come out where it comes out. So, you know, make sure that there's no medical issue. And, you know, bladder infections, crystals are actually pretty common, which can cause a pain association with the litter box. So make sure to rule all that out. Then I start looking at litter box dissatisfaction issues. And I like to make sure the box is big enough. That's like one of the first things I do. What size is your litter box? And, you know, sometimes it's like this big, ginormous 17-pound cat and like a little itty bitty kitten litter box. And it's like, what? And then I look at location, litter box location. I mean, where's your cat going to the bathroom right now? Sometimes that gives you a really good clue as to where your cat wants to go to the bathroom. So try putting a litter box in that area.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. That actually, because Luhan has a question, says, why does my cat pee on soft things at times? She doesn't do it often, but she still does it. One time it was on me. She was checked for a UTI, but was fine. So good on you for checking for medical reasons first. But we actually, our kitten, that we just adopted 2 kittens back in June. And the first thing that she did was she would jump up on the bed, which we had this faux down. We had a faux down comforter, and then we had a faux down pillow as well. And she peed on both of them. And so we removed them. And
not at the same time.
Not at the same time, but like we put her down and she'd be like, oh yay, I want to pee on the spot. Why do cats do that, do you think?
It comes down to a substrate preference. It may have been, you know, early on in the kind of potty training time, and cats really do litter train themselves, but some cats just really like that squishy texture to pee on. So with some cats, there is going to be a management side of things. So you keep your clothes and bath towels, you know, off the floor. But you also want to make sure that you are using a good litter that your cat likes. If you find your cat perching on the edge of the litter box or dashing in and out of the litter box, like as soon as they can, you know, like, okay, I'm done, bye, you know, just out. Those might be indications that your cat doesn't like the texture of the litter. So, you know, make sure that in perching can also be like your box is not big enough. But if your cat doesn't stop long enough to bury what they've put in there, or before they go, dig around, scratch, you know, do all that stuff, it could be an indication that they don't like the litter texture. So try a different type of litter.
So would you say maybe in those types of situations, something like a grass-based litter or a paper-based litter might be, because it's softer, might be good for a cat like that?
Potentially. I know kittens, you don't want to give kittens clay litter at first. You want to start them on paper because sometimes they ingest it. And so, you know, if they're using a litter that breaks down, like the paper clumps will kind of break down into paper, or even pine will kind of break down into sawdust, that can be a soft texture. But you want to start incorporating, as they get older, start incorporating a more long-term litter that you can use, you know, so that they get used to that substrate. You don't want to just change everything all at once.
Yeah. We actually had to use a little bit of cat attract for her. We took away the really soft down stuff. And then we used a little bit of cat attract, which is clay based, but then we quickly transitioned to the pine pellet. And now all of our cats actually use the pine pellet litter, and they don't seem to have a problem.
And you can actually buy that cat attract. It looks like a large spice jug.
Yeah.
You know, like you can actually buy the additive. It's the same stuff that they put in the Dr. Elsie's Cat Attract litter.
What?
But you just buy it in its own little, it's just the herbal mix.
Right on
Yeah.
top. I just learned that.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
So, and that's great because I think that Cat Attract stuff can really help. You don't want to use too much of it. Just a little bit will do. But I'm actually not a huge fan of the Cat Attract litter itself. It's
Neither are we.
not a very fine grain. It's a little dusty. It can be a little dusty. I know they have a low dust formula.
Yeah, we've actually never been a fan of it, but when back when Pooh Bear was having his litter box issues, it was the only litter we could get him to use.
Yeah.
So we would use it, and then we would transition within like a couple of weeks. We would transition to a different litter so that we didn't have to use that long term. But it worked. And I just recently learned from a customer actually about the Cat Attract, like the sprinkle or spice or whatever.
Yeah, the little.
Yeah. So for now on, if we end up with an issue, we'll go to that instead of switching litters and then doing the transition. So that's cool. Are you?
I was trying to see. I know that we've got questions. We've got some questions that are starting to come in. So yeah, you guys, if you guys have questions, you can start popping them in the comments. We'll try to catch them. Quick question though too about litter boxes. When we're looking at whatever, regardless of what kind of litter that we're using, we have the litter. As you said, the best kind of litter is a litter that our cats will use. How often do you recommend cleaning the whole litter box? Like we scoop once a day, but how often should that litter box be completely dumped, cleaned, or even replaced?
Okay, so, and again, this really depends on the number of cats you have, how frequently they're going to the bathroom. I would recommend changing the litter box completely, buying something new every 6 months to a year. And this is why the $10, storage unit, utility tub at Target is great, because you can just, get rid of it.
Yeah.
And this is because when cats scratch, they leave little grooves in the plastic itself. And in those grooves, the bacteria collect and it can retain that odor. And so that's why after a while, it gets really hard to have a clean litter box.
Yeah.
So, you can replace it.
We're going shopping.
I'm very excited.
Yeah,
it's been
a long time.
Yeah.
Every 6 months to a year, depending. And then of course you're going to want to take out all of the litter, and you might want to do that every 1 to 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe wash your litter box maybe every month or so. And you don't want to use a bleach, because cats really don't like the smell of bleach. Mm-hmm. But just a mild dish soap like Dawn and hot water.
We use vinegar and water when and anytime we were replacing the litter, we just go ahead and clean it itself. Sometimes we take it the hose to it, but that's only if there's a bad mess. We haven't had that in a while.
No, we haven't.
But yeah, we just use vinegar and water. Do you think that's good enough?
Vinegar dries, I know some cats don't particularly like the smell of vinegar, which is why I never recommend cleaning up urine. Like if there's pee on a carpet or something, don't use vinegar on that, because some cats will actually try to pee over it because they don't like the smell.
Yeah, you want to use that enzymatic. We use vinegar at first, and then we use that enzymatic if for a mistake outside the box.
Yeah, and with enzyme cleaners, you have to be a little careful. This is something that a lot of people don't know. So enzyme cleaners have beneficial bacteria in them, and that's how they work. As they dry, those bacteria are eating away those urine crystals. And a lot of carpets, because they've been cleaned, have soap or detergents in them, just residual.
Mm-hmm.
Or some people will try to clean urine stains with some sort of soap, like Carpet Magic or whatever. But if there's soap or detergent residue in the carpet and you put the beneficial enzymes on top of it, that residue can kill the bacteria in the enzyme cleaner, making it less effective. So you want to make sure that your carpet or your rugs, whatever, is free of any kind of soap residue. So you might want to go over it a few times with just hot water, or there are neutralizers that you can buy as well.
What do you recommend? What are your go-to?
My go-to enzyme cleaner is anti-icky poo.
Oh yeah. You're the one that turned us on.
Anti-icky poo.
Yeah, you're the one that turned us on to that. Yes.
Yeah.
Girl.
Anti-icky poo is great. I have yet to find an enzyme cleaner that works on the first shot. But they also make a soap neutralizer, and it's called Mr. Max's Pee Bath. I don't know why. Anti-icky poo, Mr. Max's Pee Bath. Fun names. But
Anti-icky poo,
yeah, anti-icky poo at one time claimed to be 30 times stronger than Nature's Miracle. I don't know if they can still make that claim, but yeah, so anti-icky poo is a good product.
Oh, that's very helpful. Okay, Kenley Brown, one of our VIPs, is here, and she said, should cats always bury their poop? And if not, does that mean they don't like the texture of the litter?
Okay, so cats usually learn to bury their poop when they're very young. And a lot of times they learn that from watching mom. And sometimes they do not get that lesson. So it could be that they just never learned how to do that. And my cat, Oliver, his mom is still in our house and he does not bury his poop. And I wish I could. I don't know how to teach him to do it. I'm not going to get in the litter box and like do it for him, but like we just have like one of those litter genies right there. Like when he uses our living room box and we're like, okay, you're out. But he likes the litter. So, but it could also be that, you know, if a cat is in and out of their litter box super quick, not doing any digging, burying, sniffing, whatever, it could be because they don't like the litter, but some cats just don't do it.
So it's not necessarily that they're, because we've heard too that some cats, dominant cats, will not cover their.
So that's a different thing. Okay. So, and using the term dominant with cats is a little bit funky because they don't really have dominance hierarchies as we like to traditionally think about them. When cats leave a pile of poop somewhere out in the open, it's called middening. And this is like marking, it's a territorial marker using poop instead of pee. And so it's called middening. And when they leave a pile of poop, tongue twister.
This is brilliant.
When they leave a pile of poop there as a midden, they're not going to scratch it and try to bury it. That is there to say, hey, everybody see this? See this? See where it is? So, you know, they don't try to, and likewise, if a cat is spraying urine to mark territory, they're not going to attempt to bury it. They want other cats to smell it, see it, do all that stuff. If it's in the litter box, that's typically not something where they're like, hey, this is my territory. I mean, they will leave stuff in litter boxes to, you know, like as their scent marker, but it's not going to be
to mark the box.
In your face. Yeah.
Follow-up question, good doctor. How do we tell the difference between a middening poop and a potentially medical issue poop?
Yeah. Well, and that's a really good question. Middening doesn't really, I found it much more common that cats will use urine to mark territory and, you know, demonstrate territorial insecurity as opposed to poops. So, yeah, you want to look at the consistency of the poop. Like, if it's super rocky road, then you want to be, okay, this cat might be constipated. Like, if it's really dry and in distinct little balls, constipation.
Rocky road
poop.
Love that.
Okay.
On the other hand, if it's like, you know, fudge factory poop, like that is the opposite end of the spectrum, and that isn't good either. So poops that are being left as territorial markers are going to be very healthy looking, very, you know, typically very healthy looking in a pretty, you know, just kind of out there place for everybody to see.
Okay, awesome. So Becky has a great question here. And then I want to get to, because you were talking about, they usually mark with urine, and I wanted to talk about the difference between the spraying and the peeing outside the box, and how we can tell the difference and what it means. But Becky said, what precautions can we take if we are moving to avoid the cats marking their new home?
Oh, okay. That's a good question. So,
I know. I'm like, I feel like I know the answer.
well, okay. So first of all, when you move your cats to a new home, you want to put them in one room, and you want to put things, so that they can moving can be very stressful for cats. So one reason why cats mark or go outside of the litter box is because they're stressed. So it really helps to keep the cats in one room, at least initially, maybe for a day or two, just so that they can get their bearings. Oh, all these new smells, new place, new craziness. And you want to put things that are familiar in their room that have their scent in them. So cat beds, cat trees, their litter boxes, things with familiar scents. It can also help to spray Feel Away around the house, because Feel Away contains that synthetic version of the facial pheromone. And that's what cats use to mark things as theirs when they rub up against people, objects, doorways. They're leaving those facial pheromones behind. And it just lets them know, I've been here before. This is mine. We're familiar. We're okay. Don't freak out. So getting that Feel Away spray can be very helpful. And so you're going to want to spray that in areas about 12 inches from the floor, depending on how tall your cat is. Doorways are a good place to spray that. Soft surfaces, like your couch, any kind of pathway with a corner that your cats might take, just spritz a little bit there. Don't overdo it. You don't need to overdo it, but just once or twice a day. Another thing you can do is get those Feel Away diffusers. It does take a few days for those diffusers to build up, so it's not going to help necessarily right away. And some people haven't noticed a lot of difference with the Feel Away diffusers, but a lot of people say that they help. It's not going to hurt usually. And I have had a couple of clients whose cats were spraying really bad, and they put diffusers in, and the cats actually sprayed the diffusers.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was going to say, so Feel Away is never actually, we've heard a lot of good things, mainly from you, about it working for clients. But it's never actually worked for us. I'll tell you what worked for us was your tip on scent swapping.
Yup.
That is what worked for us. So that's another option. If Feel Away, if you've already tried Feel Away and this doesn't work, and you want to get your cat scent where they go around this new home,
Yes.
Dr.
tell them a
Koski,
little bit
tell
about
us
what
about
you
scent
taught us
swapping.
with scent swapping.
Okay, so what you can do is, what I would recommend, this is the easiest way to do it. So your cats have like cat beds or whatever, or put towels down, blankets, whatever they, like to lay on. That bed or blanket is going to have their scent on it. You can then put those pieces around in other areas of the home. You can rub places with those blankets and such. Another really easy way to do it is put a sock on your hand, rub the cheeks, rub the forehead. Usually your cat will like this. They're like, oh yeah, that's nice. Go ahead, do it. And then you can take your sock hands and rub whatever.
That is exactly what we do. And I have to tell you, that was a miracle for us in so many, because Pooh Bear liked to mark anything new that we brought into the home for a while.
Anything
So
new.
we got like these new chairs, and we got these like last year or the year before. They're not new. We bought them at a yard sale, but we knew that they were going to have other scents on them, and he was going to go to it immediately and spray them. And then we might, that's why we don't buy new furniture, and because they scratch them. But to avoid that, as soon as we had it in the garage, and we took the sock and the clean sock, and we rubbed his face down, and he did love it. And we rubbed his head, and we rubbed him, all those friendly pheromones, and then went straight to the chair, and we rubbed the chair down with it. And like, it seems almost like, really, how does that work? Like, does that actually work? It works.
It was amazing.
And he came over, and we were like, let's just watch it. He came over to the new furniture. He sniffed it. He jumped up on it and laid down. Was like,
perfect.
This is my spot.
We were like, no way.
Yeah.
We were so excited. Hey, so we're going to talk in a second, because this is an important topic, the spraying versus peeing things
Yes.
in more detail, but or more detail, however you like to, whatever your syllables. But Gail Montgomery has a great question. She said, I bought my cat a new cat box that cleans itself and it has crystal litter and he won't use it. What do I do? You guys understand why we love this woman so much? Okay.
Okay, Gail, here's what you do. You go to the store, go to Target or Walmart, go get an under the bed storage litter box and get some fine grained clumping cat litter. And I hate to say that because I love to say that. I'm sorry, I take it back. I love to say that because here's my beef with automatic litter boxes. There are a few models out there, but generally speaking, most of them are too small for cats. Again, too small. Second, and this is the number one reason why I think automatic litter boxes are kind of a bad idea, is when your cat is sick, the first sign that you're going to see that your cat is sick is usually going to be in the litter box, either through the number of times they're peeing or the amount of time they're peeing, or volume that they're peeing, the consistency of their poops. Why hasn't my cat pooped in a few days? Anything that's going on with your cat, so many things come out in the litter box. Literally, things come out in the litter box. If you are relying on an automatic litter box to take all those things away from you, you miss all of it.
Yep, we say the
Wow.
same thing.
That's why I'm cat shit crazy. I love checking out the poops every day.
Yeah. I mean, it's such an important way to keep track of your cat's health. The other thing is litter boxes that are automatic can malfunction. They can scare your cats away. The crystal litter, I'm not a huge fan of. I've been in so many homes where they've used crystal litter, and I think that people think it's going to be more convenient. Like, oh, I don't have to scoop urine out of here because the crystals just absorb it. Well, then they kind of forget about it, and then there's like a million poops in there, and then maybe the poops only get taken out once a week. And again, cats hate clumps in their litter boxes, so then you get house soiling issues. So I'm not a fan of crystal litters, and I'm definitely not a fan of automatic litter boxes, unfortunately.
Oh, that is just truly illuminating, though.
Yeah, we
I
tried
didn't even think about that
crystals
with
once because somebody gave us a litter.
Someone gave us an automatic cleaning, a thing that just went and cleaned
with the crystals, and our cats didn't like it. So it was like,
touch it.
No, I don't think they like the texture on their paw pads.
And I'm not sure about this one, so I don't even know what this is. How do you feel about the Tidy Cats Breeze system?
Oh, let me tell you about the Breeze system.
Please do.
I don't know what that is.
Please do.
Eye roll emoji.
Okay.
Eye roll emoji.
I'm really sorry because I know people like the Breeze system.
Don't be sorry.
Because
Just
it's really convenient. Okay.
I don't even know what it is.
Let me describe it to you. So the Breeze is a litter box, and it typically has a little cuff around the edge, and it's like a 2-story litter box. So it's got these like pellets in it that are about that big, and they're hard pellets. They're water insoluble, and it's on top of like a screen. And then below the screen is a little drawer that you put like a pee pad on. And so the urine dribbles through the pellets and onto the pee pad, and then you just change the pee pad however frequently you feel like changing the pee pad, and then you scoop out the poop on the top of the pellets.
What?
See, okay, so that's a brilliant marketing way to make more money off your litter box time and time again.
Yeah, because you're constantly needing to replace the pee pads, which are very environmentally unfriendly. You don't need to replace the pellets very often because they just are, the water kind of comes off of them. However, there are a couple things that I do not like about the Breeze system. First of all, the box is really small. And that is one thing I do not like. Well, I mean, most cats do not like. It's definitely marketed towards humans. They're like, oh, it doesn't smell, it doesn't do this, doesn't do that. And then also those pellets are not a great way to bury things. And so cats don't like the texture of those pellets. They're hard to walk on. You can't bury the poop, or your cats can't bury the poop. And so they don't really find it to be a very good burying substrate. We tried a breeze in our house once, and one of our 5 cats used it for peeing occasionally, but that was it. None of the other cats used it. So yeah.
So not a fan.
Not a fan.
You
know what else I'm not a fan of? And I get hate mail about this.
The robot?
No. We already discussed the automatic guess.
Hate mail. What sends you hate mail?
About not being a fan of what? I don't know.
Toilet training your cats.
Oh. I mean, that would be
hate mail.
Wait. I mean, it would be cool, right? But we don't know how to do it. If they just happen to
There's a book about it.
Really?
Yeah. I think.
Okay, but do explain.
Okay. I get hate mail. So I have a post on my website about why you should not toilet train your cats. And it also has a YouTube video about why you should not toilet train your cats. Like probably over half, it's like half likes, half dislikes. All the comments are like, you suck, you don't know anything. This is your opinion, not fact. Blah, 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 blah. And okay. Rude. And people will send me email about their amazing cat who uses the toilet all the time. And I'm like, okay, fine. I've had cat clients who were trained to use the toilet, and now they are peeing all over the house. Yeah. So, okay, here's the deal. Cats did not evolve to use toilets.
Right.
I
was gonna say, yeah.
You don't know what you're talking about. That's not scientific.
That's not scientific. That's just your opinion.
Just my opinion. They didn't evolve that way. Okay.
Cats in the wild always found a toilet. What do you mean?
Okay. The posturing that they're using to squat in a toilet is a little bit different because there's some balance involved. The toilet seat is a little bit slippery. It's an inconvenient posture for them to use. Plus, there's nothing to bury, which is instinctually what cats want to do to cover their scent. And one of the biggest problems that cats have is as they get older, they develop joint pain. And so even though your cat might be using the toilet just fine for a little while, whatever, that's great. When they get older, they may not feel so confident about jumping up and then squatting on your toilet. And it really only takes one time for your cat to fall in the toilet to decide they no longer want to use the toilet. So, and then by that time, you've removed all the litter boxes from your home. And then your cat's like, well, oh crap, what am I going to do? And then they find some corner to do their business in, and then you don't discover it until the smell is inundating your house. There's, damage to your sideboards. It just can create so many problems, and your cat doesn't understand how to use the litter box anymore. Anyway, it's just a ball of wax. And please, I know it seems cool, and I know it might be like convenient for a little while, but eventually your cat is probably going to decide, I don't really like doing this anymore. And then they're going to try to go somewhere else. So please don't do it. Please.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense. I mean, it's so easy for us cat parents to look at things in the short term or not think about things at all. Like we never even considered getting larger litter boxes until you, right? But Jack's talking to us, but to think about training a cat to try to do something that would be fun for us or cool for us, not thinking about the long term, what's that going to be like when my cat's 18 and is having a hard time
jumping
and balancing and doing that sort of thing.
Yeah. I just recently had a client, a couple of lovely ladies, and they have 2 cats, Lenny and Cosima. And Lenny, before they got him, his previous owners trained him to use the toilet. And then they abandoned him, and Lenny found his way to these 2 ladies, and he had been peeing all over their home for like a couple of years. And using the toilet still, but just peeing everywhere. And so we talked about a lot of different things, but we ended up putting a lot of litter boxes around the house, and he still uses the toilet occasionally, but now he's using the litter boxes. We talked about the bigger litter boxes, more locations. We used positive reinforcement instead of like yelling at him and then scooping him up and bringing him to a litter box, because that creates a negative association with the litter box. Instead of doing that, using positive reinforcement and even just tone of voice, like, come here, let's use the litter box, instead of, oh, get over here, we're going to go to the litter box, you know. So positive reinforcement and rewarding can really go a long way towards getting your cat to do what you want them to do. And Lenny has been amazing. I was so happy with the update that I got about Lenny. He's just doing great.
Sweet boy.
Yay. Well, let's
talk about
spraying versus peeing. What?
Okay.
Just dive in deep. Let's see.
So a lot of people get really confused about, you know, they say, oh, my cat's spraying or my cat's marking, when really, when you look at the details, it's no, the cat's eliminating. They are emptying their bladder versus spraying or putting urine in different places to, you know, signify their territory or try to self-soothe by putting their scent there. So a lot of people use the term inappropriate elimination for urinating or defecating outside of the body, or urinating specifically. I don't like that term, because to a cat, it's not inappropriate. There might be something about the litter box that they don't like, something about the environment that's stressing them out. The cat is just responding to the environment that they've been given. And so they are choosing to make a different decision about where they go, which to them is not inappropriate at all. It may be inappropriate and undesirable to us, and it probably is for the cat as well. But I prefer to call these things house soiling in general. So when cats are trying to spray or mark with urine, you're going to find typically a pattern. So where is the urine located? Is it located by doors, by windows, along the perimeter of places where there might be scents coming in, or the sights of cats outside? Or, you know, like a lot of times when I go into homes where there's house soiling issues, cats will pee right by a closet, and then I open up the closet door and there's a bunch of shoes with, like, you know, mud and stuff on them. Oh my goodness, there's all sorts of smells. And then so the cat is trying to lay its scent on top of where all these funky smells are coming from. When a cat is emptying their bladder, a lot of times they'll do it right next to the litter box, or they'll do it in one space consistently, typically kind of like in a corner or somewhat hidden out of the way. Instead of in a place where other cats, people are meant to see and smell things. So, and then a lot of times also, cats, when they spray mark, they're backing up to something and then spraying directly out the back. So you'll see a little spot on the wall and then dribble, and then on the carpet or the floor. Both male cats and female cats can spray. Both neutered and unneutered cats, spayed and unspayed cats will spray. However, if you spay and neuter your cat, this will resolve 90 to 95% of spraying issues. So spay and neuter your pets. When cats are emptying their bladder, typically that's going to be a horizontal puddle on the floor as opposed to something on the wall. There are, of course, exceptions. There are cats that have elevator butt, which can look like a spray mark if you're trying to sort that out. And then also there are cats that will actually spray horizontally. So, you know, you have to do a little bit of sleuthing, but there is definitely and there's overlap between elimination and spraying. One of those overlaps is stress. So it's a big complicated matter.
Yeah. So would you say that for the majority of the time, if somebody so we know that the majority of the time, and it's, you know, different for whatever, but if they are spraying, they are marking territory for the majority of the time. But if they are eliminating, what do you think is, or what from your experience is the main reason that they would eliminate outside the box?
Litter box dissatisfaction issues. So that's when I would take a real good hard look on, you know, an honest look. It's not about ego. It's not about trying to force your cat. I'm gonna, you know, like, my cat was mad at me, so he does this. It's not about, well, I need to show my cat that this is where he has to go. Please take your ego out of it. your cat is not looking at it like that. Your cat is like, I just need to find a place to go. And I will say this too. So a lot of it is litter box dissatisfaction issues. And as cats get older, their tolerance for stress and their tolerance for subpar conditions decreases. So it's totally typical where I have clients that go, you know what, my cat's been fine with using the litter box. He's 10 years old. He's used it every day of his life. And then all of a sudden, one day he just changed. Well, you know what? Probably around age 5, age 6, he's probably going like, oh man, I don't really like this litter box. And then like that goes for a few more years. And then by the time he's 9.5, he's like, you know what, this kind of blows. I like really don't like this. And then one day it's like, you know what, I refuse to put up with this any longer. I'm just going outside. I'm not going to do it anymore.
Okay, because that was going to be my next question. What if like they've been using the litter box for however much time, and then they just suddenly start going out? Now, obviously, again, we want to go to the vet first, right? We want to check and make sure that they're not doing this because they're showing you that they're like there's something going on medically with them.
Yeah.
But for behavior, yeah. So litter box. So looking at the litter and the litter box itself is number one.
Yeah. Look at litter, the litter box setup. That's number one. Second, the next thing you do is you start looking at stressors. What are the potential stressors in my house that this cat is running up against? Is the cat bored? Is the cat not getting enough playtime? What are the relationships like between this cat and other cats in the home? Is there territorial insecurity that this cat is dealing with? Is there a relationship with one of the people that is not good with this cat? So it can be a lot of different things that can contribute to a cat's, I call it the stress bucket.
Yeah.
And so you need to either turn off the way for those stressors to get into the stress bucket, or you need to outlet the stress. And that's through play and enrichment. It's just so key for cats.
Yeah, I agree. I do have to say, because this is a recent story, like a week ago, our Pooh Bear, who is our high stress cat, he's always had a high anxiety issue. We are introducing our 2 kittens to the home, and we let them out for playtime, for family time, as we call it, so they can all kind of get to know each other. It's been about 4 months. They've met.
They know that he knows that they're in their room and they've kind of been exposed to each other.
Right. But I think it was on a weekend. So it was a week or 2 ago. And we stayed in the bed late. We didn't get up to feed and change the litter like we normally do at like 6:30 in the morning. We instead brought the kittens into our room and closed the door so the kittens could play. And Pooh Bear's sitting there thinking, 1, I don't like them. 2, they're, they are getting all the attention while I'm not getting fed and my litter box is dirty. And so he came downstairs and he eliminated 1, he pooped right in front of the front door, and he peed in the laundry room and was like, fine, this is, so we were like, okay, so now we have to,
But I think that, and I want to hear, one of the things I love about you is your ability to speak cat. And I think that it's easy for us to, as you just said, put ego behind certain behaviors.
Yeah.
So it may not have been that he was being like, okay, you want to bring the kittens in and
I just saw 2 kitty paws doing this.
Right? I mean, what is that? Are cats literally kind of, do you see cats that do respond to specific situations in that way?
So a specific situation like that, what I would say, it's not Pooh Bear just thinking, oh, those cats, they're taking up the attention. Oh, I haven't been fed yet. Oh, my litter box is dirty. It's more like, I'm feeling really stressed out because there's like lots of things. This isn't the new normal routine. There's new things happening. There's stress. I just am stressed. You know what I'm going to do? I need to put my scent down here. I need to do something, so it's more about like, I'm stressed. I'm stressed about this. What can I do to make myself feel better? I need to put my scent down.
Yeah.
Here it goes.
Yeah.
And then, okay, that helps me. Yeah. So, they're not taking notes. They're not, They're not making lists in their head. They're not doing anything out of spite or revenge. Cats don't think like that. They're very much in the moment. And that's why I think it's more like, oh, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel right. It's outside of what I've normally done. This isn't my routine. This isn't, there's things in my litter box still, you know, it's kind
Well,
of
that brings up a good question. How important do you think it is to have your cleaning the litter box as a routine, like at the same time every day, or does it matter?
Does it matter?
Sure, it depends on, I think if your cats are on a routine, just in general, like eating, playing, sleeping is going to be their routine. If they're on that routine, they're probably going to be using the litter boxes around the same time, especially for poop. You know, if they're regular kitties. And so then, you know, you may, if you're cleaning it the same time of day, it's probably fine. As long as you're cleaning it at least once a day, I think you're probably fine. You know, that's probably okay.
Yeah.
Our Pooh Bear, and I've noticed Zorro doing this now too. He sits outside the litter box that he likes to use in the morning. He waits for me to finish cleaning it and then just goes in and does it. So I'm cleaning another one. I wait for him to finish up his stuff and then I'm like, grab it while I'm out there.
Exact same thing here. Exact same thing. Momo and Oliver, as soon as I'm done cleaning the living room litter box, they come out from the front room, they go into that box. And then while they're doing that, I go into one of the front room boxes, I clean that out, and then they're done there. And it's like a big thing.
Chasing them around
Yeah.
until all the litter boxes are clean.
And nobody has to use it.
Okay, I did not realize it's already after 2:00, but I want to say, Sarah has a great question.
Okay.
Because you were talking just about how important it is for cats to play and exercise and just that enrichment and how it does help deal with stress. She said, what if my cat will not play? My cat ignores attempts to play and continues his stressed behavior.
So, okay. I have met so many people who say, my cat doesn't play.
Yep. You taught us this
You
too.
taught us this one.
I want you to go to the store and look, or go to Amazon. Go to Amazon and look for a toy called the Bird. The Bird is a 3-foot long pole with a 3-foot long string and a clump of feathers at the end. And it comes on a clip, so you can actually buy additional lures for things. So I recommend, you know, a rat, a little fuzzy worm, you know, there's lots of things you can put on the Bird. Get out the Bird. Run that thing in front of your cat a few times. I think I've only met like 2 or 3 cats who have turned up their nose at the Bird. Like, it's just amazing. Senior cats love it. Everybody loves the Bird. It's because there's so much, like the wand and the string, it's so minimal in appearance. They're both black, very kind of slim. There's nothing detracting from the lure itself, and it's long, so you're not right in its face with your hand doing whatever. And so the cat is just focused on the lure. If you move it like a real prey item does, then it, you know, even furthers that like instinctual behavior. Don't give up on playing with your cat. Play is essential. These animals are wild predatory beasties that live in our homes. So get the Bird. Get a few different lures. If your cat's a little bit older, that's okay. It may take you some time to figure out what kind of lure your cat likes and how he likes it moved. And it might even take him some time to remember how to play or connect the dots in his brain about being a predatory beast. So don't give up. Just be persistent. Keep trying to play. If your cat is afraid of the Bird, which can happen, get a long string or like a ribbon. The cat charmer is really good. It's a fleece, long rainbow colored fleece type thing on a wand. That's great for senior pets and cats who are a little bit more skittish. A long peacock feather, that can really be fun too because it moves a little bit slower. So don't give up. Just please get the Bird and give that a try.
Well, I have to say that you taught us also that because our Pooh Bear is, and even to this day,
Around other.
when he's around the other cats and we bring out any of these toys, he will, he actually runs from it. He's like, get that away from me. No. And you said to us in one of your courses, you said, if your cat says they don't want to play, they're lying to you, because every cat wants to play. That's their instinctive nature, right? And you taught us about confidence building sessions, which we tell everybody about all the time. We've written blogs about it now, like we tell everybody about it, because it took really one session, Marci, to have him in the room away from the other cats with the bird and giving him our undivided attention, that he started playing and got real excited about playing.
And explain to people that don't know what we're talking about. Explain the confidence building sessions.
Yeah. So when a cat is actually engaged in playing, it's a substitute for hunting. And a cat who is actively hunting is not going to be connecting with their prey side at that moment. The more you can help a cat connect with its inner predator, the more confident they're going to be. They're going to move around the house a little bit more confidently, instead of like lurking around and like trying to be, hidden all the time. So they're going to come out, they're going to want to play more. It's a positive feedback loop. One really great way to help build up your cat's confidence is through play. But just like you guys said, have individual play sessions. Cats can get intimidated just by having another cat in the room watching what they're doing. So try to have individual play sessions. And a lot of times it's really hard to do that when you take a cat, put it into a bedroom, and then you're like, let's play with the door closed. They're like, no, why did I just come in here?
Yeah. That was the first 5 minutes.
Yeah. So what you want to do in that case is have a play session where you would normally play, but put the other cats in a room with something to do, like a food puzzle or, an automatic toy, or have, a kid play with them or something like that. But have the cat who you're trying to build the confidence for in the living room or wherever they like to hang out, just by themselves with the bird.
I like that. That's a good idea.
We did it the other way of taking a Pooh Bear into but you're right. He's like, I don't know what we're doing. But it took a little while for him to calm down and kind of be like, all right, this isn't so bad. Yeah. And that one session with that was fantastic. But I also like that idea.
It also helped his behavior toward the other cats, because he wasn't having a good relationship with the new kittens that we had brought in. And now it like immediately after just one session, he was like, okay, like you don't bother me anymore. I'm not going to hiss at you. I'm cool.
Yeah.
Like,
what do you do if you have a cat that's a play hog? Becky is saying, what do you do to stop a play hog from stealing all the playtime? I don't have enough time to individually play twice a day.
Well, I think that is when you need to set some boundaries. Like you do need to put that play hog in a room with something that they like, and give that one cat at least one place, just one 10 to 15 minute play session a day without the other cat present. I mean, usually people can find 10 to 15 minutes. And if your cat is in the play hog is in another room, that cat can hang for 10 to 15 minutes. Like they're not going to die. And then you can let them out, or what you can do is play with that cat first for 10 to 15 minutes, really wear them out, then give them a meal. And then while that cat is eating, then you play with the other cat and then give that cat their meal. So,
Strategizing.
Wow, this is awesome.
Dr. Marci Koski, I know we've gone over the time that we thought we were going to be using up today. I'm not really that surprised though.
No.
You're extraordinary as always. Can you share with everybody where we find you?
Oh, okay. So my website is felinebehaviorsolutions.com. And if you have a question, just send an email to hello@felinebehaviorsolutions.com. Business has been crazy lately. The last few months, I think with COVID, and we were talking about this before. So I've actually had to hire an assistant. She's great. Her name is Brandy. And we are trying to get to everybody as soon as we can. And my focus has been on clients and working with clients. So, we're trying to really manage that, all these new people coming, but please just send an email to hello@felinebehaviorsolutions.com. And, you know, we'll try to help you out.
And
So-
follow her Facebook page. The link is in the description here. You just click on it, follow her Facebook page. She also gives a lot of good information on Facebook, also on Instagram at Feline Behavior Solutions. So follow there as well.
I should have just asked Jay. We're the ones obsessed with
I know.
following.
I didn't know the
Like,
hello
where
though.
are you?
I'm like, yeah, so everybody's like info at, you know, their website, and you're like, hello.
Hello. That was Brandy's idea, by the way. Brandy's great. So
I like
Yeah.
that. Looking forward to meeting Brandy. So we're hoping to have you back maybe sometime soon, as soon as you're available. If you do have time
We'll have
on a
our
Sunday,
people call your people.
we'll have our people call your people, and maybe we can talk about some other awesome feline behavior issues.
I
that
love
are very
how
so many things.
because you bring so much. I mean, you've brought so much to our home that we can't even thank you enough. Literally, what you've taught us through your courses and through the things that we've learned by watching you and following you online has really helped.
their quality of life, their happiness.
Yes, so much. And I know that everything that you bring and have brought today also helps all the people that have joined us today and that will go back and watch this. So
I know
thank
I was
you.
taking notes, but I wasn't taking enough notes. So
Yeah. We'll have to do another course with you.
we're just so grateful for your time and for
Yeah.
your knowledge and for the way that you help us all look at this life from our cat's perspective in a way that
Yes.
really helps their quality of life and their
Thank you.
happiness.
Thank
So
Yes.
thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us, and we will hopefully see you very soon. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Happy Sunday. Our VIPs will see you guys at 3:00 Zoom in our private Facebook group. We love you guys. Mwah. Bye.
Bye, Dr. Koski.
Oh.
Wait.
No, I didn't know if we're still live or.
Oh, no, no, no.
yeah.
Just-
Hold on.